man, jolly for everyone. Enjoyment for one man, enjoyment for everyone. No be only now go dey enjoy am. The sun dey shine for this one, make everyone still dey enjoy am. No be only una. We just dey live for this one, we no dey answer ourselves question. The question wey just dey for our front, we no dey answer ourselves. When e go stop? When e go finish? When e go quench? Today we want talk am, we want declare am, we want state am for facts. No sufferance anymore. Sufferance go quench. Sufferance go finish. Sufferance go terminate. Condition wey dey inside, wey dey happen, wey hook people. Today we go still talk am because condition wey make crayfish bend, they never talk am. Condition wey make water pass garri, they never talk am.
Yes.
Condition wey make food no yafun for house, they never talk am.
Yes. Welcome to the listening session. That's right. We're here live and direct. Y'all just heard for maybe the first time or another time. Sufferance go terminate with my big Oga, Baba Sheyi Olagunju. Prince, please, blue-blooded, proud Yoruba brother. It is my honor and absolute pleasure to host my brother from another, the big bro, for a 30 to 45 minutes conversation on this collaboration of ours that just came out this Friday, available on all your favorite streaming platforms, but also on our lives, some of the ups, some of the downs, how we met, and what is to be expected in the year coming and beyond. Without further ado, let me bring to the floor the one and only Baba Sheyi. We welcome you, my king.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that marvelous introduction. And I want to also accord the same greetings to you as well, big brother, man. It's been a number of years and you've been there for me. So I want to accord you that greeting back in return. Greetings, everybody.
Greetings indeed. Baba Sheyi, we just dropped a banging ass tune. My God, this has been one in the pipeline for so long. It feels surreal that we finally managed to bring this thing together. Sufferance go terminate. Please tell us a little bit about what kind of inspiration came upon you for you to drop this.
The inspiration came from you.
Lyrics.
Allow me a little bit of a correction. The inspiration came from you. I was doing a lot of recording at the time, and you contacted me and you said, and you gave me the title of a track. It was slightly different. Yes, it was Sufferance for Quench.
Yes,
and I was so inspired by just the title of the track because, titles actually give the words. So I didn't even need to write so much. I didn't even need to go to consult books. The title alone gave me the inspiration, told me what direction you wanted that track to go, and it had such a philaric, input with it. So I want to accord you. I want to say thank you to you for bringing me into the project.
Of course,
and I mean that.
I know you do, and I thank you as well for accepting an invitation because this has been something that we have spoken and dreamed on for quite some time, and it has finally come to life, and such a beautiful and auspicious time. Well, should we say beautiful? I don't know if we should say beautiful, but it is, because somehow, as much as we're going through these very, very complicated times of a global pandemic hitting us left and right, and leaving a trail of despair, it also brings about some positive times, positive occurrences, and this is one of them one that brings about some positive energy and, just really, so I guess we could even go as far as saying, conjuring, sufferance, and saying
Yes.
that we are terminating with that idea of sufferance, idea of pain. Elaborate a little bit on that, Baba, please.
Well, I mean, it is like, is the world equal? Are we living in a total egalitarian society? Those are the questions that we want to ask ourselves. Are the continents equal? Are some people being fed the crumbs from the table? Are some people, do some people have it all and expect it to have all? And when you came across with that sufferance go quench, even for those who are not suffering, that thought to say, hey, are we living an equal life? Because there is enough to go around. There is enough sustenance to go around in every aspect and form. Do you know what I mean? And I know we live in a capitalist society. That's fine. But there's some people that are being crushed. And unfortunately, although we don't want that victimized stance in Africa, we're being fed the bottom end of the table. So I think this is the way I took to the track when you gave me the title of the track as a revolutionary track. Do you know what I mean? As against a love track or just a dance track, a revolutionary track.
Intention.
Exactly. Sufferance will finish. You go terminate. You go quench. Do you know what I mean? And it's surprising, we're releasing this track during this time now because there is a lot of sufferance in the world.
There is indeed.
And there's nothing that wealth can do about it. The sufferance have come about, and we're just being attacked from all corners. So, make it finish or make it terminate, make it quench.
I beg. And it's so interesting that we drop in the song on the weekend on the Valentine's Day weekend. This also brings some sort of sufferance as well of its own, love and heartaches. I think some people might see some word of hope within that song. Should they be single and dealing with a little bit of heartbreaks and stuff?
Well, the lyrics say it all. Better go day, better go must day for everybody. Sun they shine for everybody. The sun does shine. The creator is so great, and the creation is so great that the sun shines on every part of this world. And so we're all due. We are all due whatever we want. And I think if we can just reduce on the excess, so that there will be enough to go round, because there is enough sustenance to go round. Yeah. So happy Valentine to everybody out there.
Happy Valentine's to all the lovers.
All the lovers. All the lovers.
And all those who are single at home.
And all those are single alone as well.
Wow.
Cuddles and hugs.
No, this era is so funny to me. Especially those who are single. Actually, it's very funny. Both the single ones and those who are in relationships, you have to see how they're bragging, showing off. Oh my God, flaunting their supposed love. The other ones flaunting their supposed happiness, being alone. I'm like, oh my man, please.
But is that not the society that we're in? That's what it is. That's the society that we're in now. With social media, it's all about the show.
It is. It is. No more substance. I think we lost you. Babashi, are you back?
I'm here. You can't lose me.
Okay.
You know, you lose you. I can't wait.
Now. My king, I think you're now you're back. Okay, cool. So you're saying social media is what is making us go for the wrong roads.
I think social media is sometimes everybody wants to show it's all a show. And the truth is left behind. Do you know what I mean?
It is.
Sometimes I think it's a great thing. Social media is a great thing, but we should also just take account of the truth. Yeah.
Talking about truth, let's give people some truth about how you and I we met, some background of this brotherhood that we've developed through the years, this mutual respect and consideration and care we've developed through the years. And I believe it goes as far back as Ibiza. I can't tell which it was, but we were brought together by the one and only Mr. Louis Vega and Anani Vega together. They brought us for the Get Together, I believe, event. It was the event at Blue Marlin.
Blue Marlin.
And this is how we met that day.
Yeah.
This is how we met that very day. I remember that encounter. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because we know about each other for some time now, but we just never had a chance to,
to meet. Yeah, we never met. We never met when you came to London or when I was in Europe. But that time, I think it was about 3 or 4 years in the making. And then we met and we discussed, and instantly I seized upon you and I said, "You're an Afropean." I seized upon you. I said, "You're an Afropean," and you told me about your birth and your heritage, and you're in where you are from, Central African Republic itself, and as much as I want to declare that I'm African, you declare that you are African. So the respect grew as well. And we're also Europeans. Do you know what I mean? You're born in Africa.
Yes.
I'm born in Europe. So it was kind of very interesting. It was kind of very, very interesting. And after when I went back to my studies, we actually had to define who is African in this modern age. And I always remembered our encounter as to who is African. Do you know what I mean? And it was an interesting encounter. It was interesting. We spoke about music.
Can you please shed a little bit of light on your studies, as a matter of fact, and what did they consist of, and what did you graduate into, and also tell us a little bit about what you collect from this massive amount of knowledge you've gathered through the years.
Well, gosh, you have a way of raising.
Let's go.
I went back to uni to do a postgraduate course in African Studies.
Can you repeat that again? To do what?
African Studies and Music at SOAS, School of African and Oriental Studies Oriental and African Studies in the University of London. And I just wanted to refresh myself on what Africa is all about. I was very interested in African history, but I hadn't the intellectual knowledge about what African history actually consists of. Do you know what I mean? What are the defining moments in African history? We all know about the diaspora, but how come about the diaspora? How come about what I consider to be the most significant part of African history in the last few hundred years, the divide of Africa,
you still with us, Baba?
I'm
the
with
connection.
you.
The divide, continue.
Yeah. The divide, the divide of Africa, the scramble for Africa, and how come 1.2 billion people we spoke over 3,000 languages in Africa. How come we now speak about 4 or 5 different European languages? I think that's just a wonderful concept. I mean, who could have written that script, and how come about that? And I wanted to study and learn and agree and disagree. And so that's what that was. That's what that comprised of. I also did a bit of music, ethnomusicology, which was the study of music in Africa and different parts of the world. So that's a general aspect to what I went to do. That's better. I can see you now.
And as a matter of fact, I was putting the focus on you so we can see your fine face. Forgive me, I beg.
Okay.
Hey, So let me ask you about some of the beautiful music you. I believe when you were there, you did some amazing recordings. I mean, you worked with some magnificent musicians, just like yourself. And by the way, people, y'all have no idea when it comes to how this man performs live. For those of you who witnessed Sheyi Olagunju live, maybe you understand. Maybe you understand. Because most of you may just see a showman. No, 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 no. You must see this man become spirit and one with the music, and how the music transcends him and the music coming together in this very transcendental way, where you can actually see a conversation, question and response, statement, interrogation point, comma, full stop, comma. This man, when he plays drums, and believe me, Sufferance could Terminate, that song that we did together, only scratches the tip of the amount of drumming skill, should even rhythmical expression. Pardon me, that's the way I will express rhythmical expression this man is capable of. But please explain to us a little bit your technique and how did this gift came about for you, and
Wow.
how did it really impacted your life the way it has until now?
Wow. Wow. Thank you very much for that question. First of all, thank you. Thank you very much for that question. I'm born in the UK, and at the age of 8, I was taken back to Africa to learn our culture by my parents. And I happened because we went into a number of churches, and I happened into an African spiritual church. And that is the place that I learned to play the drums. And at a very young age, I started to tour during the holidays across the width of Nigeria. And so I will go to these different areas and learn the sounds, the drum sounds, the cowbell sounds, the talking drum sounds, and learn these sounds of different, I don't like to say the word tribe, but different ethnic peoples. So I'll go as far east as Calabar, the Igbos, the Shekiri, the Yorubas, the Edos. And then also, when I used to go to sleep at night, the drums will sound. So the way I learned to play the drums was more a phonetic way, a phonetic expression.
I see. Well, can you define? Can you explain that, please?
Okay.
Can you please explain what do you mean by phonetic expression?
There's some schools of teaching drums is a very technical way, like the Latin percussion is a very technical way, and it's an excellent way. I give a lot of respect to that, of the different hand movements, how you strike the drum, and different sounds. But with how I learned to play the drums was more in connection with the language. And so I learned to play the drums on 2 languages, the Yoruba language and the Edo language.
Okay.
Okay.
No, good.
That's a sound. That's a sound as well. That's a sound as well.
That one.
And I'm very sure if I listen to that sound, like for example, that sound, if I listen to that sound a lot of times, it will come out in the drumming.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
You understand? So it might not necessarily come out in
emulate it.
Exactly. How to convert it phonetically. Yes. So the drum sounds are African. Yeah. So the drum sounds are African language sounds, and at university I learned that some of these drum sounds actually made speech. So you have drums that copy drum sounds. So you have drums that copy language, and you have some drums that actually make speech. All the drums. And
Wow.
yes, exactly.
Would you say those drums are inhabited with by spirits, or is it your spirit as the percussionist that takes over the drum, or is it like a dance between you and the drum, or sort of like an intro? How does it work? Explain. Please elaborate a little bit on that.
For me, I think it's a release. For me, it's a release, and I found the best times I could play drums was when I had a good DJ who could release me.
Yes.
So you know, as much as one can prepare themselves on the day, it is how the question and answer, the crowd, the people there, the way the DJ responds, the music that comes out. Do you know what I mean? And then that's where the drum sounds come out. That's what we call the spiritual connection.
100%.
Yes, that's what we call a spiritual connection. And I think it's a release. And I think a lot of it comes from humility as well.
Yes.
By being humble and allowing these sounds, allowing the time take precedence. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes, go on, ask me. You wanted to ask me a question?
No, because I wanted to take some, but continue. I'll ask my question.
Sometimes there needs to be a lot of drum sounds. Fine, let there be a lot of drum sound. Sometimes the drums need to quieten down. It's all part of the expression. So humility plays a large part, I believe, in music. You're taking me back now, anyway.
Of course. What else do you expect from me?
You're taking me back. Thank God.
Talking about humility and talking about this experience that you have had as an orator through drums, and not only, you have had to deal with a very, very traumatic and complicated occurrence in your life. Do you mind telling us a little bit more about this? I don't want to be insensitive and talk on something you may not feel comfortable to speak on, but I think it's important for people to understand, because a lot of people don't necessarily know, and a lot of people kind of stayed in disarray as to how things unfolded for you. Can you please explain a little bit of what happened to you and how did it, change you?
Okay, about 4 years ago, that's fine. I would elaborate a little bit. About 4 years ago, I started having some pains in my back, and I couldn't explain these pains. I went to the doctors. They said it's just not ordinary back pain. I used to enjoy my exercise, so I would gym it out. I'll go and do some, back extensions and do some squats and, gym it out. But the pain kept on returning. And then it got to a stage when I couldn't even get up. It descended into from the pain in the back now descended into my midriff and into my legs. So it was a horrible pain. It was like having glass inside the body. So at that time, I had to go into hospital. I was in hospital for a number of months, 7 months. It took them a few months to diagnose what was going on. And they've come up with some kind of disease that they can't explain themselves called neuromyelitis optica, which has rendered me paralyzed from the waist down. So that is a summary of what's occurred.
I found amazing and extremely inspiring the amount of courage that it has taken you, that it has taken you to actually be able to be here today and actually have this conversation, because most would have probably committed suicide or given up on life or became absolutely miserable. And yet the true fighter, warrior, prince that you are, managed to soar out of this well, let's say occurrence. We want to call it an occurrence because we do believe that you will see some positive progress, as you've shared with me last time we spoke, that you're starting to feel some evolution.
Exactly. Well, one can only thank God, and again be humble.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something that always comes to my mind: vanity begets vanity. So I have to ask myself, what about people who wake up one day, they get into a car and have a car accident? Do you know what I mean? Or I remember once when I was in hospital, there was a guy opposite who was also paralyzed, but he's came about drink driving. Now, can you imagine the kind of hurt one will feel from getting themselves into a situation like that because of drink driving, because they went about drink driving? Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there was another guy who didn't even know when he was hit by another car. He was going about his own business. And so these were life experiences. So these humbled me further. And there are some positives. There are some advantages.
Mm-hmm.
I can now write deeper. So when I write stuff, I can write deeper than I used to be able to write.
Mm-hmm.
It's allowed me the time to actually investigate a bit more about things and accept things. So there are some positives to snatch away from this occurrence. And one thing that is one thing that I have use of my arms and my hands, and so I can still play the drums.
Magnificent.
And sometimes I feel that the drums are getting a bit tighter, the sounds are getting a bit tighter. I have more time to develop, you know, on speed and technique and things like that. So, you know, it's not all bad as some people may seem.
So you've graduated to becoming even more of a master.
I wouldn't say.
No, that's very, very, very audacious to say, maybe for you, but I can actually say it because, you know, I not only am a friend, but a little bro and an admirer. But you know, when it's time to tell each other the truth, we do. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're all in the presence of a serious master, very much underrated to my taste by our industry. I don't want to sound and play the bitter card here, but and it's nothing of the kind. But it is utterly important that people understand that, you know, in regards to this man's contribution, which was maybe to be considered short, yet it has not been short in terms of its repercussions. And you know, I believe that our collaboration together is a testimony of that, and is also a way to let people know that just because something has hit the brother the way it did, it doesn't mean that he's important, that he's incapable of doing anything. As a matter of fact, he's sharper, brighter than he was before. And I believe it is to be indeed perceived in our joint and the many more projects that you will be giving life to this year and beyond. But talking a little bit on that, what is your take on your experience of the music industry? Share some words on that.
Well, for the music that we love, because I absolutely love house music. I absolutely love it. I think it has such an original sound, especially the Afro deep, you know, sound. I think it has an originality to it. I absolutely love it so much, and I just think that it's got so much more aspect to grow. You know, I know that it's very big in Southern Africa and Eastern Africa, but I'm hoping that it will get big in West Africa as well. You know, it will really explode in West Africa where its source is. You know, some people say that house music, the house music we listen to, there's only 10% of it is real pure house music. That's what some people will say, and I would want to say that 10% has that African sound, that 4-beat, that 4/4 beat that we love so much. So I think we're in a period right now when Afro beats are growing, and Afro house can also grow. So
it's also growing, yes, undoubtedly.
Exactly. So I think it's a wonderful position that we're in, and I'm hoping that it will make us more musicians and give us our due. Yes.
Baba Sheyi, may I ask you to, as we wrap up this beautiful and yet short conversation.
I was just beginning to enjoy myself.
No, Wala, now we can spend more 10-15 minutes. I want you to please drop us a Oriki, one of those powerful Oriki of yours that only you has a secret for, and may you please provide context and translation for that, and maybe add some more words of wisdom and encouragement for those who are probably not as mentally fitted as we are to endure, and even us who we are also affected by this whole pandemic, but we probably handle it with a bit more perspective and philosophy than some, and maybe leave some words of encouragement for the viewers out there. So Oriki, words of wisdom, context, and maybe the word of the closure for this conversation today.
You got me there. Ojútóró kùnkólé. Ojútóró kùnkólé bẹ̀rù ọ̀sà máa o. Rárá. Rárá. Ojútóró kùnkólé. Kò lè bẹ̀rù ọ̀sà máa o. Wò wọ́n o. Èmélòó ni wọ́n? Èmélòó ni wọ́n o? Wọ́n ń fò lọ o. Méje. Méje méje. Wọ́n ń fò lọ o. Ojútóró kùnkólé. Kò lè bẹ̀rù ọ̀sà máa o. Ra.
Mystifying us now. Let's go. What is an Oriki? What did you just say? Please.
I was just saying, actually, that's an Oriki. That's a greeting to when we first of all met. Because I remember saying to you, African world, Ojutorokun, the eye that has seen the ocean. Ojutorokun, okun is ocean, can have no fear. Koleberu can have no fear of a little river or a stream or a lagoon, because he's seen the ocean. And in the time that we're living right now, I think it's kind of poignant, because all the Africans that have crossed the ocean, they've seen the ocean, so they can have no fear anymore about little river Thames, little river Hudson in America, or river Seine in Paris, because they've crossed the ocean. Even if it's generations back, they've crossed the ocean, they've seen all the hardship. Yes. So they should have no fear anymore. We're back online, yeah.
Yeah.
They're flying away. 7. They're flying. They're flying. They've taken to the sky. So it's like a message of hope, and a message that even in these times that we're living in, we've seen it all. Either our parents or our forefathers or our foremothers, they've seen it all. Our foreparents have seen it all. And so let's take heart. Let's take heart.
Well, I want to greet our viewers. We have a Master Electronic over from YouTube saying Happy Valentine, Mr. Boddhi. Master Electronic, we as single men and women, we do not wish Happy Valentine. That's a disgrace. No, it's fine now. It's fine. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh la la, Babashi.
My man, my brother man.
Man of man. Oh la 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 la. You see, please drop some words of encouragement for the people who are going through some really rough times emotionally, psychologically. Mental health is being challenged at some degrees that are completely unprecedented. And so I would like to know if people from where they are can see you from where you are and what you've gone through, and never losing hope, never losing faith. Please tell us what were some of your mantras or motivational source of motivations to stay afloat, and secondly, words of encouragement. Should that not be enough already? What you're going to share?
The darkest time of the day is just before dawn. And dawn will surely come. The sun will surely rise. And, this will surely pass. It's already passing. This will surely pass and make us stronger. What do we learn from it? What do we learn from looking on the TV and seeing people fall ill and seeing coffins? It's very scary. Very, very scary. But what do we learn? Because we're still alive, we're still healthy. The darkest time of the day is just before dawn. And this time is coming to an end. What are we going to do? Are we going to still be greedy and not think about our fellow man, avarice, and not think about our fellow woman? Or are we going to think about everybody? Everyone has an option. I'm going to tell you something that's some viewers might not, it might shock some viewers. I used to like watching the Olympics. I used to really enjoy watching the Olympics. But whenever it came to the Paralympics, my interest just went down. I couldn't understand. Now look at what's happened to me. See, the positive message that these people were giving, the positive message that in the darkest time of the day, they still want to come out and shine their light.
Yeah.
So regardless of what's going on, we are alive and we're getting better. We're going to get better. I still in my mind's eye get up from this wheelchair, and I am going to get up from this wheelchair. I am going to walk. I am going to value walking. I'm going to value dancing. I'm going to value running more than before. So that's me.
Value what you have.
Yes. Consider your fellow man.
Third point.
And believe that it's going to get better. And when it gets better, how am I going to be? How are you going to be? How are we all going to be? Because there's sustenance for everybody.
Absolutely.
Sufferance go must finish, it go must terminate, it go must quench.
One time. Even though we know we'll never terminate, but at least some sufferance must terminate for sure.
For sure. For sure.
Baba Sheyi, can you please tell our viewers where they can find you? I don't see. I've looked for you on Instagram. I don't even think you're on Instagram at all.
No, I'm not on.
But yeah, if they can find you on Facebook, tell us a little bit about your styling, because you're a stylist. The Gunjus, you know, you have your own brand. You have your. Tell us a little bit about that and how people can support you as well. You have a PayPal account, which I will be making sure that is included in the description section of this video on YouTube and Facebook. But yeah, please tell us a little bit about your brand and where and how people can get it and support.
Thank you very much. There is a website, gunjuculture.com.
How do you spell it?
Gunju, Gunju, culture, all one word, .com. There is that website. On Instagram, I'm Gunju Fashion.
Okay.
Yeah, Gunju Fashion, all one word. And then obviously
go ahead.
And then obviously on Facebook, Sheyi Olagunju.
Sheyi Olagunju, fantastic.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you, Amani, Boddhi Satva. I want to thank you because I think it's 7 years ago, you sent me this message, sufferance go finish, sufferance go quench. And I actually put something together and sent it to you. And you said you felt there's still more to come. I don't know if you remember.
Very well so.
Yes. And you've kept it till this time. So I want to thank you very much for this release.
It's true, because we want to act like it's been done recently, but it's been done a very long time ago. But interestingly enough, it wasn't the time yet. It wasn't the time yet.
Exactly.
Some things still needed to be digested and still needed to happen, I guess. And, you know, it so happened that, well, this Friday, the 12th of February was the day of the release of our song, Sufferance Must Terminate. Baba Sheyi Olagunju and yours truly, Boddhi Satva. My big brother, it has been an absolute pleasure to have you with me for this beautiful 45 minutes conversation. Thank you all for watching. This has been Listening Session. Please take with you some of these uplifting and powerful words from a beautiful, beautiful human being, very generous, stubborn, which is exactly the reason why he's still here with us, is because he's stubborn and he loves life. And music is truly what this man is. Thank you very much, Baba.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Support the music, support the artists, always. Thank you very much. Blessings.
Blessings indeed.